$8,000 for a new engine, 62,000 miles on the odometer, perfect maintenance records, completely destroyed. Three major automakers are selling engines right now with documented catastrophic failures. Not minor issues, total engine destruction, federal investigations, class action lawsuits, thousands of owner complaints, and they're still being sold today in America's best-selling SUVs. One of these can be fixed with a $40 part. The others, you need to know before you buy. I'm breaking down the three engine platforms to avoid what fails and what it costs when it does. Let's get into it. Here's the pattern. Manufacturers obsessed with EPA fuel economy numbers engineered complex systems that self-destruct. They prioritize regulatory compliance over actual longevity. We're focusing on 2021 to 2024 models where this problem exploded. These aren't rare exotic engines. These are mass-market powertrains in vehicles your neighbors are driving right now. When I say unreliable, I don't mean needs more maintenance. I mean the engine destroys itself completely. Replacement only. No rebuild possible. Engine number 3, Ford EcoBoost. Ford accomplished something remarkable. Two completely separate ways to destroy your engine across different platforms. This isn't one engineering mistake. This is a pattern. The 2.0-liter problem. The 2-liter EcoBoost in the Escape, Bronco Sport, and Corsair has a fundamental flaw. Coolant leaks into places it should never go, either into the combustion chambers or into the oil. When coolant mixes with oil, you get a milky substance that cannot lubricate anything. Bearings start grinding metal on metal. The crankshaft scores. Within hundreds of miles, the engine is finished. Coolant in the cylinders is worse. Liquids don't compress. When the piston tries to compress liquid coolant, something breaks. The connecting rod bends, the piston cracks, or the rod punches straight through the block. This typically happens around 100,000 miles. Just past warranty, almost suspicious timing. Cost to replace? $6,000 to $8,000, right when you finish paying off the vehicle. Ford issued partial recalls and customer satisfaction programs, but the core defect remains. Some owners get goodwill assistance. Most don't. You're gambling that your specific engine might be lucky. The V6 disaster. The larger 2.7 and 3-liter V6 engines in the Explorer, Edge, Aviator, and Nautilus have a different problem. Faulty intake valves that fracture under normal operation. When an intake valve breaks, the piece falls directly into the combustion chamber while the piston is moving at thousands of cycles per minute. The piston hits the valve fragment. Both shatter. Metal debris circulates through the entire engine. Ford has documented over 800 warranty claims for this specific failure. The actual number is likely thousands higher. Here's what's revealing. Ford's recall remedy requires replacing the entire engine. Not just the valves, the entire engine. That tells you how severe the contamination is when these valves fail. If you're shopping for a used Explorer, you're exposed to two completely unrelated, catastrophic failure modes. You need documentation that all recall work was completed. No documentation? Walk away? But at least Ford's problems happen at 100,000 miles. Our next engine fails before your first oil change. Engine number 2, Nissan Variable Compression. Nissan's 2021 to 2023 Rogue uses a 1.5-liter variable compression turbo 3-cylinder. On paper, it sounds like science fiction. The engine physically changes its compression ratio while running. In reality, it's a mechanical nightmare. This requires an intricate multi-link system with extreme precision. When any component experiences stress beyond design parameters, the engine doesn't run poorly. It seizes completely. Owners report catastrophic failures at 15,000 miles, connecting rods punching through the oil pan. Some failures happen before the first scheduled oil change. Think about that. Brand new vehicle, still smells new. Engine destroys itself. The replacement parts have been back-ordered for 3 to 6 months. That back-order timeline tells you everything about how widespread this problem became. Nissan didn't anticipate needing this many replacement engines this quickly. Meanwhile, you're making payments on a dead vehicle sitting in your driveway while scrambling to find transportation. Nissan's official recall response: an oil change, a gasket replacement, and a software update. Software cannot fix mechanical wear. A computer update cannot restore components that already failed. This is warranty cost management, not an engineering solution. The fuel economy gains from this technology are completely negated by the risk of total engine replacement. Even if only 20% of these engines fail, those are terrible odds when the cost of failure exceeds the remaining value of the vehicle. If you're considering a 2021 to 2023 Rogue, you're gambling with one of the most mechanically unsound engines in its class. At least with Nissan, it's one engine in one model. Our number one pick affects an entire manufacturer's lineup, and they've known about it for over a decade. Engine number one, GMV 8-cylinder deactivation. This is the most widespread engine defect currently being sold in America. Every full-size GM SUV, Tahoe, Suburban, Yukon, Escalade, all of them. These engines have been failing since 2014. Federal investigations launched, multiple class action lawsuits filed, and GM is still installing them in 2024 models rolling off the line today. Think about that timeline. 10 years of documented failures, still being sold. The engines are the L87 6.2-liter V8 and the L84 and L83 5.3-liter V8s, all equipped with cylinder deactivation, active fuel management or dynamic fuel management. Here's how it's supposed to work. During light load, the system shuts down cylinders to save fuel. 5 to 7% improvement. The system uses collapsible hydraulic lifters. A traditional solid lifter is a simple steel cylinder. No moving parts. Proven over billions of miles. The collapsible lifters have internal mechanisms, springs, check valves, and oil galleries. Each one is a complex hydraulic actuator. Complexity in high-stress systems creates vulnerability. These lifters fail constantly. The failure progression stage 1. Lifter fails to collapse or extend properly. You hear a ticking noise from the valve train. Stage 2. The failed lifter damages the camshaft lobe. Misfires, rough idle, reduced power. Most people keep driving because the vehicle still technically runs. Stage 3. The damaged camshaft and lifter generate metal debris that circulates through the entire engine. That debris acts like sandpaper on every internal surface. Bearings, cylinder walls, everything. Stage 4. Complete engine seizure. Total replacement required, $5,000 to $8,000. The math, let me show you how absurd this is. Annual fuel savings from cylinder deactivation, $230. 5-year total savings, $1,150. Cost when the system fails, $8,000. GM engineered a system that saves you $1,000 but has a significant probability of costing you $8,000. How does that make any sense? The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration launched investigations. Class action lawsuits are proceeding. Owner complaints number in the thousands. The evidence is overwhelming and publicly available. GM's response? Inadequate warranty extensions on some models and continued production with the same design flaw. The solution. Here's the $40 fix I mentioned at the start. A plug-in device connects to your OBD2 port and permanently disables cylinder deactivation. Forces the engine to run in full V8 mode constantly. No lifter activation means no lifter failure. These devices cost $40 to $100. Compare that to a $5,000 to $8,000 engine replacement. You'll lose that 5 to 7% fuel economy benefit, about $250 per year in additional fuel costs. That's a bargain compared to an $8,000 engine replacement. If you own one of these GM V8 SUVs and haven't installed a disabler device, you're gambling with thousands of dollars for no reason. If you're buying used, factor in the device cost and install it immediately. Don't wait for symptoms. By the time you hear ticking, damage may already be occurring. Prevention is exponentially cheaper than repair. Here's the pattern across all three. Fuel efficiency technology that creates catastrophic failure modes. Manufacturers prioritize EPA numbers over actual consumer value. You're beta testing their experiments. For new car shoppers, research engine reliability independently. Don't trust EPA numbers as a proxy for value. Factor in long-term failure risk. For used car shoppers, Verify all recall work was completed. Get documentation, not promises. For GMV8s, budget for the disabler device immediately. Walk away if documentation is missing. Manufacturers once knew how to build engines that lasted. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these engines shocked you most? Do you own one of these? Have you experienced these failures? Drop your story in the comments. If this saved you from an $8,000 mistake, hit that like button. Subscribe for real information manufacturers don't want you to know. Thanks for watching.